the vlog begin. Hi, I'm Chad, and welcome to virtual reality, where I prefer to start my vlogs because it is an environment in which it is safe to go fast. Without further ado, let us go fast. Back to reality. For today's topic, I want to give a shout out to my sooner or later to be cousin-in-law, James Spencer. James, good recommend on the topic. Today we are going to talk about my first track day. My first experience on a racetrack with a motorcycle, and future plans for race tracking, as well as why I think it is an excellent idea to do a track day if you like motorcycles, and especially if you like going fast. So, my first track day, I almost remember the exact date. It was November 9th, plus or minus 2 days, in 2014. Been riding a motorcycle for about 11 months, and did my first track day at Chuckwalla Valley Raceway with my best friends Sean and Chandler. And Kirk, got to throw Kirk in there too. It was a blast. I've never had so much fun in my life. So to premise this, I pretty much learned how to ride a motorcycle in a sporting fashion in the canyons, which is really not safe. Almost no lean there. That was racetrack worthy. My favorite canyon road when I first started riding was the San Gabriel Canyon, Highway 39, up into and out of Azusa to the Crystal Lake Cafe. In the back, like, third of it, there are these two gates. One is about a third of the way in, and the next one's about another third of the way in. The last third of it is a pretty aggressive hill climb, getting a lot of altitude pretty quickly. It's nothing like Pikes Peak, but gained some serious elevation pretty quickly. But the thing that I liked so much about it, and most of my friends really liked, was the majority of the turns are fairly low speed. So you didn't need to carry a ton of speed to get leaned over. I remember running it for my first time ever on my Honda in freaking riding shoes and being scared shitless, not really moving around on the bike at all. Oh, open the throttle smooth, baby. Pretty intense. You know, you have a literal, this lane's my lane, that lane's oncoming traffic, and that's it. There's a cliff on this side and a wall of rocks on this side. So things are going to be pretty crappy if you make a serious mistake. Really not a lot of margin for error. Almost none, actually. But I spent a lot of time up in the canyons. That summer, the summer of 2014, Sean and I spent maybe like 3 or 4 days per week, every week up there. We both had summer school. We'd get out of class at the same time, meet at the gas station closest to the freeway in our race suits at like noon, mob out to Azusa, ride up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down all day long, and then ride home at like 5. I learned very, very quickly, which was really nice. I think about 2 months into canyon riding, I was getting comfortable enough leaning the bike over where I would get my knee down in a few of the corners, and I just really built up my confidence on the bike. Chandler and Sean and Kirk had always wanted to do a track day. They had bought a 4-pack of tickets and had one extra ticket. They were like, yeah, do you want it for $100? I'm like, hell yeah, dude, let's do it, dudes. So went in my, I didn't even have a full suit at the time. I had pants that were leather and had knee sliders and zipped to my jacket, which is track legal, but not awesome. One-piece suit, it's the way to go. Still went out anyways. We'd planned it for freaking months, and Chandler was away living in Yellowstone National Park. He came back a little bit later than we'd planned, so that pushed our track day back a little bit. But we still made it happen eventually. So coming up to the day of, the day before, I had gotten sick and had an ear infection. Actually, I think it was a sinus infection. Pretty confident it was a sinus infection. And I was on medication. My whole body ached, my head hurt. I slept for like 2 hours the night before, and we drove out to Chuckwalla from Huntington Beach at 3 o'clock in the morning, something like that. A long day. Couldn't sleep the whole way. I think I slept for about 2 hours the night before. We finally got there, and I was so excited and so anxious that basically all of the sickness just kind of faded away. It was an awesome day. I think the most incredible part about it was going from a situation in which I am accustomed to riding quickly and sportingly with one lane to work with, and then going to like this many lanes. It's seriously like the track's like this whole side of the street wide, pretty much, at least the 3 lanes. Chuckwalla is an awesome racetrack too. It's a very good first track because it's very flowy. It's a momentum track. You definitely need to keep speed going around it, but you can. A lot of fast corners, lots of runoff. So went out there, all of our first time riding the track. So we had registered for C group, which is the beginner group. And we were the fastest guys out there. I was locking people. But again, I was going into this with experience, maybe not on a racetrack, but riding a motorcycle sportingly, and having played many video games and understanding lines and braking points and when you should be on the gas and when you should not, etc., etc. Definitely gave me an edge up on the people that were there for the first time. Rode every session that day. I think I did about 140 miles on the track. So that's some pretty decent mileage. I think most people like 100 miles is pretty tops, unless you're, you know, a club racer, in which case you probably log twice that. It was a blast. We had a great time. Overall, an extremely positive experience, and moving on from that, I wanted to just do as many track days as possible, and that was my main goal for a while moving forward. I've done 10, I'm not going to count the track, my last track day, March of 2017, where I crashed first session of the day, because I think I probably only spun about 12-13 miles on the track before I got flung up into the air. So I've done over 1,000 miles on racetracks, and it's just such an amazing experience. You don't have to worry about going fast and being reprimanded for it, and the safety factor as well. Now, if I had crashed like I did at the track, I was riding the canyon, I probably would have gone off a cliff and died. Like, I've got no illusions about that. And I actually did crash in the canyon after my first track day, before my second track day, which actually pushed our second track day out a little bit because I had to fix my bike. Luckily, I was okay. It was a fast corner, like kind of a foot, so very quick. Tip it over, bring it up, which lucky for me was Lucky for me, that sent me sliding straight up the road and it was uphill, so I ended up in a dirt mound, bruised and battered, but largely uninjured. That was awesome. About as awesome as it could be. So obvious upside to going to a racetrack is the safety aspect, whereas in a canyon, if you crash and you're not with friends, there's a good chance no one's going to find you. There's definitely a possibility until it, you know, it's too late, depending on how injured you are. At the racetrack, there is a medical staff. And they'll have an ambulance, at least one. Usually, any track DAS event I've done has been 2 ambulances. And those dudes will get you up and get you off the track. I've seen helicopters come in and pick people up, or heard of it at least. So if you do crash, it is the place to do it. Your bike's not going to go off a cliff. You're not going to go off a cliff. Good times. I also recommend it because it's the ideal place to get acquainted with your motorcycle. You know, you can go as fast as you're comfortable, work on braking, work on accelerating, shifting gears, shifting down gears, and you have the room for mistakes. Yeah, you go into a corner too hot, okay, run it wide. Oh, I got on the gas a little too soon, I'm running wide. Oh, I've got room to do that, I'm not going off of a cliff or into rocks. You learn how to do stuff like that too, like use the brakes and downshift all at the same time. Good combo. That's a track move. Moving forward, I plan on getting back to the racetrack, hopefully sooner rather than later. My goal as of now, because I need a new race suit, and I need new gloves too, and I need to lose weight so I can fit in a race suit and get in shape so I can actually put in some mileage and enjoy myself and not be panting the whole time. There are a lot of people that say that you can ride on the track regardless of whether or not you're overweight and out of shape. I disagree. It never hurts to be in shape for anything. Anyways, need to get a new suit, get back in shape, get some new gloves, and fix my race bearings. I do have a set of race bearings for my motorbike. If you want to see some photos, I will post one when I post this video. Check out my Instagram page. My handle is Chad Snaps, with an S on the end, as in I snap photos. Hey! Follow me there. I post a little bit more frequently, maybe. I don't know. I've been pretty off social media lately. But once I get all that stuff taken care of, it's back to the track for me, baby! Woo! And I'm so looking forward to it. I can't wait to get reacquainted with my motorcycle and get comfortable moving at speed again, getting leaned over, getting my knee down. And I've learned a lot since then too. Just even practicing on the street. And I'm not talking about like, not out here being street Rossi or nothing, dragging my knee going around a right-hand turn at a light. But you can still practice some things. Using your brakes smoothly, using the throttle smoothly, opening the gas at the right time during a corner and doing it carefully. All good practice, and it pays off. It definitely pays dividends when you're opening the throttle at max lean with your knee on the ground, like all the way off the back. I will conclude today's vlog. If you have ever thought about doing a track day, especially if you are a sport bike or super sport bike owner. I highly recommend it. It is an incredible experience and really gives you a chance to see what your machine can do, because unless you're Rossi or Marquez or Chaz Davies, chances are your motorcycle is more capable than you are. My motorcycle certainly is, but it's fun to explore those capabilities as far as I am comfortable. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, please. I want more people to watch me. I think I'm funny. If I'm not, tell me what I could do to be funny. Tell me why you don't love me. Until next time, later.